got a wooden top battery like the old vintage ones.
Ah, it's a really top job, that, isn't it? It looks really. It smells lovely as well.
It's got Castellar on it, so you get that.
Right, that's probably it smells like a proper bit of engineering, doesn't it? I like that a lot. Very nice. And then moving bang up to date to the 1930s. Here we've got your Velocette V-Twin that you recently won an award with, didn't you?
I just won the Duke of Marlborough's award for best motorcycle in show.
That's
at
amazing.
Salon Privé, Blenheim Palace.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. And there's a story behind this bike, of course, as well, isn't there?
This was my dad's bike. Well, I actually bought this in 1978 off my friend at work, who was an apprentice, for £50.
Well, yeah, that was a good investment.
Got it home. Yeah, I was only earning £15 a week, I think.
Oh, okay, right.
It's a month's pay. Got it home and I started fitting it. My dad noticed it and he goes, "My God," he goes, "You got a Velocette." He said, "I really love a Velocette."
Yeah.
And he was dead. I could see he really wanted it. So I said, "I'll tell you what, I'll swap it for your HAS 350 that was all running."
Right.
So he said,
it's yours for £100.
So I got a box of rusty parts for a running bike, you see. So I had this HAS 350 and he had the Velo and he restored it and rode it around. And then back in '99, I got it back off of him and restored it properly for his 60th birthday.
Oh, brilliant.
Got it painted.
Yeah.
And he passed away in 2014. I got it back again.
Right. It's come and gone, this one. That's what I was talking to.
And I was riding it around and the engine went wrong and I took the engine out and I thought, I'll do that another day like you do.
Yeah.
Because it's a standard bike.
Yeah.
And I sat at Stafford Show with my Honda 6
in
October 18.
Yeah.
And I thought, so that's over there, that would make a lovely V-twin.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a Velocette at home. Let's do it.
Two together, bingo bongo.
So
right.
8 weeks it took me to make it from scratch.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Is that pretty much full time?
All full time,
Yeah.
But then it took 10 weeks to strip it and get it all painted and nickel plated and chromed and put back together again.
And did it always have this front end? Because it's like a girder
That's
type.
That's the correct front end for a Velocette Mac.
Right,
But it's 20 years older than this bike.
Is it? Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the mid-30s girder forks.
I never quite get my head around how they work, but maybe. Okay, yeah, that sort of makes sense.
It's like the BMW tail lever.
It is a bit, isn't it? Actually, yeah.
It's all been done before.
Right, yeah. There's nothing new, is there?
So I got the Jaeger 8-day wind-up clock, which is correct.
Look at that.
But she's done.
This looks beautiful.
1,500 miles. I've done it now.
And again, this may be a daft question, but why the two tanks, one oil and one?
Well, they should be. I'm just a bit Bruff Superior styled.
Right. Okay.
With the exhaust that I've made in this tank.
Yeah.
And a twin, it just makes it.
It just looks right. Yeah.
It's one big tank. That's all.
Okay.
If you're filling from the left or the right, you've got the option.
There is some there's some sense in that, isn't there?
But on some bikes, the tanks are split. You see, so they have two tanks.
Right.
Like Harley Davidson.
Beautiful looking bit of kit. And again, the when you came to marry these two cylinders together, I mean, this is where all the action's happening, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did you go about making up again?
There's two engines cut together. That is the original engine there.
Okay, so you cut them in half and welded them together, literally.
Yeah, it's normally vertical. And
Right.
I've lent that back to here.
Yeah.
And I've put one on the front. And I've made a spare engine.
As you do. Oh, there we go.
There's a spare engine there, which I'm going to make another bike, basically. So
Oh,
this
nice.
is the Mark II engine. As
Right.
it says there, Mark II. So this is not run. I haven't run it, obviously, but it will run. It's all ready to go.
Lovely job.
So I'm going to look out for another Velocette Mac.
You could have there's a whole industry here, isn't there, knocking out Velocette V-Twins.
I've had a lot of offers on this.
Yeah, I bet,
yeah. I can't sell this bike, really. It's just,
No, a lot of sentimental value in there.
I just love riding it. It's just so nice to ride.
This must feel completely different to these beasts as well.
Yeah, but this is great. At 50 on the back roads.
Yeah,
It doesn't use any fuel. Probably just 70 to the gallon or something silly.
And what's the handling like on it?
It's okay for a girder bike with rigid back end.
Yeah, I guess that's
It
it.
doesn't like potholes.
Yeah.
But
Brakes?
Brakes are great because I've got the Velocette Venom front brake in it. It's a bigger brake.
Right.
So the brakes are really good.
That front wheel looks massive as well,
It's a
doesn't it?
19-inch front wheel, which is standard on our British
Right.
bikes.
Wow. It does look beautiful. It just looks right as well, doesn't it? Which I guess is why you got the award.
I tried to make my bikes look as if they're factory.
Yeah, that one certainly does. You achieved it.
I took it to Stafford Show in April last year, which is the British bike
Right.
show. And a lot of people hadn't realised that haven't followed me on Facebook. They thought, where did you get that?
Yeah.
They said didn't make V-twins. Was that a long lost one? Did they make just one?
Well, that's the ultimate accolade, isn't it? Isn't that great? That's fantastic.
so
let's just have a look down the back end here. I love this fishtail exhaust.
twin fishtails.
So presumably the reason why I had fishtail, again, this is a numpty, non-techie question, but is to do with back pressure and getting that all right, is it? Oh, it was purely silencing, was it?
Silencer.
Right.
And they're straight through, apart from the fishtail.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I think it diffuses the sound in.
Right.
I've actually opened these up a little tiny bit because it was very, very muted.
Right, yeah,
so
you need to know.
They were very narrow.
Yeah.
So I've opened them up slightly, and now it sounds just right now.
I wonder why they went out of fashion, if they work like that. I mean, it's weird, isn't it?
I've got one on that as well.
Yeah, they look great,
It's
isn't
got a fishtail on that one, and it's
Lovely. And just think about the practical aspects when it comes to insuring them and MOTing and things like that. Is it not an issue?
No, you can get insurance.
Right.
Any bike, any modified bike, Carol Nash or Adrian Flux.
Yeah.
They do policies for it. It's no trouble. Just declare everything. It's fine.
But it's not stupidly expensive.
No.
Or...
No.
Wow, amazing. Well, that is absolutely fantastic. Well, congratulations on the award for that. I mean, rightly so. I mean, it looks amazing. What's the next project, or is that top secret?
Well, I don't really. I've got to get that bike.
Got to get the engine.
First.
Yeah.
I have to be inspired.
Yeah. Haven't got any ideas of what it might be?
Not at the moment, no. But I got up the ante now, you see. Because I started off doing on with 2-stroke triples.
Yeah.
Now a lot of people are doing that because it isn't that hard. It's really simple to add a cylinder onto a 2-stroke.
You need to keep at the top of the game, don't you?
So that was like 20 years ago I started doing that. But so I've done the Viper, which is people done those.
Yeah.
There's people doing this. I mean, I'm not the first person to make a Velocette V-Twin.
Right, okay.
But there's other 2 or 3 only in existence. They're not original looking bikes. They're specials.
Yeah.
But they're very good, but they're specials.
Yeah, of course.
I try to make original looking bikes.
So answers on a postcard then for Alan's next project.
I get that all the time. I don't.
Okay. Don't put an answer on a postcard or in a comment. Don't bother.
No, I need to be inspired. Something. Someone will say something. I'll be somewhere. I'll see something.
I think we'll have a bit of that.
But it's got to be above what everyone's doing now. Because the trouble is, I'm competing when I make things. Everyone with the CAD cams and the rapid prototyping. And
of course, and you're just doing this in your head, which is the bit I find unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't do any of that. I just do everything.
That's fantastic.
My dad always said to me, do amend and do it yourself. Don't ask other people. He said, if you can't work out how to do it yourself, just find out and then work it and just make it happen.
Wow.
Don't get on the phone, pay out the money and get someone else to do it for you. I always like to try and do everything myself. So when I say I've made a bike,
you actually properly have.
That's what I've done. Made a bike. Yeah. I've not assembled parts that have been pre-made.
Yeah, great stuff.
So that's the difficult bit, or the good bit.
Amazing. Oh, actually, I was just about to hang on. Before I got some questions in. Just hold that a second there, will you? Sorry about this. But I got some questions from my patrons actually. Just make sure we've covered them off. I hate to leave you. Right, I've got it again. Thank you. Right, here we go then. So, a question from Tony Ross. What got you interested in engineering? I think we've covered that. Yeah. What was your first project? Well, I think we probably covered that as well.
Yeah. Rally wheels.
Yeah. So what's the next one? This is an excellent question. Have you ever made a monumental cock-up? And if so, what was it?
I haven't.
Really?
No.
Or is it just that you notice something's going to go wrong at the time and you fix it on go?
I obviously every now and again you get teething problems.
Yeah.
I've had teething problems with this. I had the valve stuck in.
Yeah.
But no. I think through stuff so quick, so
right.
Infinite. I think through it all the time. I'm always thinking through everything. I work everything out in my mind before I start doing a project.
Okay.
So I know where to cut.
So there are no half-finished Allen Millyard projects.
No, this started second kick. And I just then rode it for 1,000 miles.
Yeah, with no problems.
Without a single problem.
That's incredible.
Then I've had a few minor issues. The rear exhaust valve overheated, which I had to deal with.
Yeah.
And all it was a spring on a cable was a bit weak.
Right.
And it was just stopping the valve from shutting.
This is the beauty of doing everything yourself, though, is you know these bikes absolutely inside out, don't you?
Pull it all apart, change the spring, and now it's good as gold again now.
Fantastic.
That's run from scratch.
Yep.
Never had a problem with that at all. Just works. It's done 8,000 miles. The engine's
crazy.
As I built it when I first, I've upgraded it over time. Like the alternator didn't charge properly, and I made better carbs for it.
Right. And the other projects you've done, because you haven't just made these 3 bikes, there's been umpteen others as well.
My RC374.
What happens to those? Are they in your shed somewhere else?
Yeah.
Oh right, okay. So you don't pass them on.
Oh, I do. I sell a few.
Right.
If someone offers me the right amount of money for a bike,
sure. Because you can't ride them all, can you? And some must mean more to you than others. It helps
me finance the next project.
Perfect.
Which is really good.
And out of all of the bikes that you've made, which is, I mean, it's like choosing your favourite kid, but which is...
I can't say. This is right up at the top.
Yeah.
Followed by that.
Right.
And the Viper, but there's 3 completely different bikes.
Yeah,
here.
of course.
You can't get more diverse than these 3 bikes.
Yeah. So have you got your Honda here then? Can we have a look at that?
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's go. Oh, that's great. Brilliant. Thank you, Alan. Yeah. Well, what a fascinating place to look around, eh? And a bit frightening, but Alan has very kindly offered to let me have a go on his Kawasaki 354. I've never ridden a 2-stroke. I've never ridden a vintage bike. Let's hope this goes well. All right, so this is a massive deal for me because I've never ridden any sort of classic vintage bike or indeed a two-stroke. So what exactly, Alan, are you going to let me loose on?
Well, this is my Kawasaki 354.
Right.
So it's basically a 250 learner bike from 1975.
Right, don't say learner bike because now I'm going to make a hash of it now.
So it's even got an interlock on the gearbox, so you can't accidentally select second and pull away. You
Good.
only select first. But it's a nice entry-level bike to ride. It's very smooth and very buzzy.
Right.
And it's got a drum brake, which would be a first for you as well.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
It works
fantastic.
Okay.
And the thing that's going to scramble my brain is the gearbox is the wrong way around.
I'm afraid it's 1 up, 4 down.
Right. Okay.
Which is actually the racer's preference.
Yeah, we'll see if it's my preference in a minute. All right. And what are you going to be riding?
I'm going to ride my 500 LC, which is my 500 4-cylinder with the 250 Yamaha top ends.
What a beautiful looking machine.
So I'll ride that.
These are lovely. Let's just have a little quick look here. So this has got 1 extra cylinder.
This whole bit here is new. Yeah.
Yep.
It's normally a 3-cylinder 250. So it's now a 4-cylinder overboard to make it into a 350.
Wow. Okay.
Kawasaki actually made a 350, but it was a triple.
Right. Okay.
The balls are actually smooth and they make slightly more power. It's just different. It makes it more even from the back if you've got 4 exhausts rather than 3.
Nice, yeah. So it looks the biz, as does this. So
this is so fast. This is ridiculously fast. It makes me laugh every time I ride it. It's a struggle to keep it to legal speeds.
Really?
Power just comes in, it never stops pulling.
It looks incredible.
It's quite light for its size.
Yeah. Right, let's
go.
Let's get togged up. See how we go.
Let's see how we go.
Right, wish me luck. Well, this is quite something. Well, it's absolutely scrambling my brain trying to operate the gearbox the opposite way around to what I'm used to. This apparently is the racer's favourite way of doing it now. Let's kick the thing up to change down gear. What an absolute hoot. This thing feels so lightweight. Down to go up the box and up to go down. It feels absolutely lovely to ride. It's so lightweight and the sound of this thing is straight out of my youth. And not only the sound but the smell coming off of Alan's bike in front. Smells amazing. I'll tell you what, the power delivery is quite something. It's a day of first for me, as I said. Never been on a 2-stroke, never been on a proper vintage bike. It's got like no torque to start with, or very little, and then as you wind her on, suddenly it flies. And if this was a beginner's bike back in the day, I dread to think what that thing must be like that Alan's on. He says it's a beast, so this is a man that's used to riding a 5-litre V10. So if he says it's a beast, it really is. The brakes are quite something. It can take a bit of planning. Right, I think I'm probably in first. I think it's a day full of firsts. The other first, I'm almost ashamed to say, is that I'd never kick-started a bike before, and before I had the camera rolling, obviously I had to start the bike up, and it's a kick-start job. That was a bit of a rite of passage as well. I'm going to get so many comments of people saying, how can you say you're a biker if you've never kick-started a bike? Well, I've only been riding the last 10 years and kick-starts went out sometime before that. But what an absolute treat, not only to meet Allan and to look at his amazing bike collection, but actually come out and ride one of his creations. Thank you so much, Allan. I've got a massive grin in my crash helmet. Every time I change gear I have to think about how I'm doing it. I'll tell you what though, if I was reviewing this as I would normally a new bike, this is pretty good. It's comfortable. It's got some vibrations, but they're not bad. I mean, it is a 4-cylinder bike, so you'd expect it to be smooth. No vibe through that mirror, great view out of it. I think I might be becoming a classic convert. The brakes, however, I'm keeping a very safe distance because the brakes take a bit of planning. I'm loving the speedo needle as well. That takes me back to my childhood and my dad's old Vauxhall Viva. Well, actually the Vauxhall Viva had the long speedo, didn't it? It was nothing like that, but you get my point. And also my dad didn't have a Vauxhall Viva, to be fair. No idea how much fuel I've got on board. My usual hate. No fuel gauge, what's that all about? I wonder how you turn the traction control off. Now it does feel lovely at this speed. We're doing what, 55, 60 miles an hour, 5,500 revs. I wonder if I've got another gear to go. Yes, I have. Even smoother. Let's try the back brake out of interest. Actually, the back brake's not bad. Could be some stopping going on. Let's get both brakes employed. Kick up a lot to get a low gear. Fabulous. Old school indicators. It's a cornering light. It's lovely. Man, this sounds like a motorcycle should sound, doesn't it? Okay, down that way. Oh, that's a nasty little bit of road. Let's try and change down a gear by going up with my foot. I'm always saying how good modern bikes are, but I have to say, with the exception of the brakes, which are virtually non-existent, the handling on this is absolutely beautiful. Mind you, it probably rides better today than the day it was born, given Allan has breathed on it. He's getting away from me. Don't lose me, Allan, don't lose me. I've no idea where we are. Actually, I can just follow the smell. These roads around here are absolutely potholed and bumpy as hell, but the ride on here isn't too bad at all, I tell you. No wonder these Japanese bikes came along and killed the British bike industry. They're jolly good. Of course, I say that as someone who's no idea what a British bike used to feel like. Fabulous. Little turnaround point. Well, how fabulous is that? What an absolute hoot. I love it. What a laugh. It's that gearbox is just completely scrambles my brain.
Oh, I know.
But I tell you, it rides smooth. The vibrations aren't that bad at all, are they?
No.
And it handles lovely, doesn't it?
Straight smoke for the first 5 miles.
yeah. Smells lovely behind there. I was worried I was going to lose you, but of course I could just follow you by smell.
The smell.
Yeah. Fantastic. Right, okay, so for the second time in my life, I'm going to kick-start a bike. This is very exciting. Does the stand have to be up, or it doesn't matter?
No clutch.
No clutch, right? Stay. Well, that didn't seem too much of a problem. Up for first. Lead on, sir. What an amazing noise of both these bikes together. They have some sort of harmonic resonance when you get the revs right. Oh, round there, okay, I can't ride the bike and signal. There was that harmonic resonance again, I don't know if you heard that. Brilliant. Now Allan reckons he was riding the bike down to the pub in its most environmentally friendly mode, letting out as little smoke as it possibly could. But in a minute he's going to do a flyby and show me what that thing can properly do. I say, I'm super impressed with the handling on this. The sound is just absolutely epic. We've got to catch him again now. He's off. Every time I pull away, I'll get that gear change wrong and go up instead of down. Well, I might better manage this particular hand signal. That's very old school, I like it. Up, 2. That works. Nothing there. He's got a great playground here, Alan. These are just classic roads for these sort of bikes. Beautiful countryside. And quite quiet roads as well. Well, they certainly are on a Thursday afternoon in September anyway. Oh, here we go, into the smoke screen. I'm going to have to get Mrs. Fly to wash my jacket when we get home. I'll be so covered in oil smuts. I'll tell you what, I've had a grin on my face for this whole ride. That doesn't happen very often with modern bikes. There's just something darn fun about this. Well, that was great fun. People looking at us on the side of the road as if we're a couple of nutters, and I suspect at least one of us is, but in a particularly good way. I'm loving this. Just the weight of this bike, the visceral, effects of it, the sounds, the smells, the vibrations, which actually are not too bad at all. But then it is a 4-cylinder bike, so you'd expect that. As in, you'd expect it to be smooth. But it's a proper experience riding this. Properly characterful. Well, how cool was that? What an absolutely top afternoon. Thanks again to Allan for letting me, number one, come round and have a look around his garage and check out his incredible bikes. And then, of course, for letting me ride the bike and ticking off all those firsts. My first kickstart, first 2-stroke, first vintage bike. What an absolute winner. I'll tell you what, I love my Street Triple, and it is lovely. But having just jumped off that Kawasaki 1970s vintage, yes, this is better in terms of its smoothness and its gearbox and its clutch, but it's not incredibly better, given this is like 30 years later, 40 years later. I'm definitely a vintage bike convert, thanks to Allan. Alrighty, hope that one's been of some interest to you, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Missing and Flyer. Cheerio.